Watching a massive ship launch is exciting, but when things go wrong, it's pure chaos. From tipping over to giant waves crashing, these ship launch fails are unbelievable. In a Jakarta shipyard, a Coast Guard vessel launch failed as it tipped, rolled, and crashed sideways.
Это хорошо, еще не в рот, блядь. Ой, ой, ой! Ебать копать! Ебать копать! Зафиксируйте, блядь! Машину заводим, да?
On December 21st, 2011, a Russian cruise crane lift failed, snapping cables and dropping a tugboat onto a barge before it sank. A failed ship launch hit the water sideways, sending debris flying, injuring people, and going viral as the shocking disaster unfolded. In Anacortes, Washington, a $6 million yacht tipped left and sank during launch, likely due to a slipping platform. The Princess of Yolanda rolled over and sank an hour after launch due to missing ballast, turning cheers into disaster. In New Orleans, a new U.S. Coast Guard icebreaker hit the water hard, sending debris and waves into the crowd, injuring 20 people. In Leer, Germany, the Symphony Provider's launch failed as its bow got stuck, causing a dangerous tilt and a shocking disaster. On October 11th, 2019, in Hugazand, a snapped stern line sent Scott Explorer crashing into a quay wall, causing visible damage. In 2013, at Marinette Shipyard, a ship launch failed, sending debris flying and a massive wave crashing toward the camera in chaos. A massive ship launch went wrong as it tilted uncontrollably, crashing hard into the water and sending waves and debris flying everywhere. A giant ship crashed into the water, forcing a tugboat underneath, nearly swallowing it as the impact created chaos. On July 15th, 2022, a heavy ship launch failed as the structure collapsed, causing shockwaves but luckily leaving everyone unharmed. heavy ship crashed into the water, sending massive waves and debris flying as the powerful impact shook the entire area.
Oh shoot, oh shoot!
In September 2014 at Lake Havasu, a boat launch failed as a driver reversed too fast, then overcorrected and crashed onto concrete. On January 28, 2022, in Patani, Thailand, crane cables snapped, toppling a crane into the water, injuring an operator, and leaving total wreckage. In 2012, the Ruben Lasker launched uncontrollably off a slipway, crashing into the water with massive force and sending waves surging outward. During the Albion's launch, a massive wave shattered a viewing platform, plunging 200 spectators into the river and tragically killing nearly 30 people. Crane lowering a heavy boat tipped over under the weight, crashing into the water alongside the vessel in a disastrous failure. In 2019, Carnival Glory hit the docked Carnival Legend in Cozumel, Mexico, blaming high winds for the crash that caused minor damage and one injury. The ship launched smoothly but flipped over upon hitting the water, turning a perfect start into a disastrous capsizing within seconds. The ship plunged in, tilting dangerously on the edge of disaster, but miraculously stabilized at the last moment, avoiding total catastrophe. Rotterdam, a taxi boat crashed into a tourist vessel, flipping over and trapping 6 people before rescuers saved them just in time. The heavy ship Hagelin Progress tipped dangerously after launch, but stabilized just in time, narrowly avoiding total disaster. A heavy ship launches with high tension, smoothly entering the water without disaster, defying all expectations and risks. Massive ship enters the water, tipping dangerously before quickly stabilizing as workers watch, relieved to avoid disaster. Ship launching is a risky task that demands expert skill, as the vessel hits the water with precision, keeping everyone on edge. The UAL Africa cargo ship hits the water successfully, but massive waves crash everywhere, making the launch a rough and intense entry. The ship launched into the water, rocking violently with crashing waves, but miraculously steadied just before disaster struck. As the ship crashed into the water, massive waves drenched onlookers, sending them scrambling for safety amid rushing water and debris. The ship smoothly entered the water, but quickly shook and tipped dangerously with crashing waves as it fought to stabilize. The ship hit the water with force, shaking violently, destabilizing instantly, and tilting dangerously before struggling to regain balance. The massive ship entered into the water, sending crashing waves, but despite the close call, it recovered and stabilized just in time. The giant ship launched with force, tilting dangerously before stabilizing as waves crashed around, leaving everyone relieved yet in shock. The ship slid into the water but quickly flipped upside down, turning a failed launch into chaos within seconds. The heavy ship coasted into the water, making a successful yet intense entry as onlookers held their breath, aware of the high risk. Some of these ship launches were absolute disasters, but believe it or not, there are even more shocking moments coming up in our next video. What's the worst ship launch fail you've ever seen? Let us know in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next one, make sure to like and subscribe.